Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday the 16th of January, December, crikey. I'm wishing time away now. It's alright, I was looking at something for January a little while earlier. Anyway, so let's have a look at the markets. Firstly, what news events are happening. It's the PMI data today. And we've got French, German out this morning, 8:15, 8:30. These figures have got to be out the way before we do anything with the euro anyway. And then we've got the 9 o'clock figure is the European as a whole. Then at 9:30 we've got the UK data. Then at 2:45 even, we've got the German US data coming out there. At 1:30 we've got the Empire State Manufacturing Index. So there's plenty of data out there today. These are really quite key numbers. We're looking at manufacturing and services, the two major aspects of most GDP numbers. So going forward, so we should watch that very carefully. Right, okay, let's get on and look at the technicals and how they're setting up at the moment. So the euro, well, it bounced and held up reasonably well there on Friday. It didn't go too far once it did its thing. It sort of rolled back in the afternoon as usual, it seems, but not far. This morning it has pushed up a little bit at the moment, started moving in. It's into its weekly pivot here. I do like weekly pivots to sell from, but we'll have to wait and see what happens here. But it's we have got this inverted head and shouldery pattern that's sitting there. Well, that might, with this sort of resistance around this level of about 105 now, if we see that break this morning, it's really data dependent this morning, but if we start seeing this break, well, we could see a bit more of a bounce. As I've said many times of late, it was not unusual to see the dollar selling a little bit leading into Christmas, but that doesn't mean to say it definitely will. It may just stall a lot more than it normally does, as opposed to sell or whatever. But at the moment we're looking at, as I say, we've got a bit of a two-way side of it, or two-sided of this market. There's the potential. It hasn't quite put a higher low in yet. It needs to break that neckline basically, and that will give us a higher low in there as well. So just wait, see. But the news has got to come out. I want both sets of news out there, the French and German data. The pound, we've got data out later. It really sold off into Friday. It didn't like Friday at all. Just carried on going through. That GDP data certainly didn't help things, and well, it's looking, as we sit here at the moment on this shorter time frame, like it too could reverse and continue to the downside. I'm just looking at the 4 hourly. There's nothing any clearer there. But sorry, I keep coming back to look at the pivot. If it did get any sort of rally, I would be looking at that underside of that pivot. We've sort of turned the corner a little bit here, and well, that sort of selling into the pivot would be absolutely ideal. So if this does rally through this morning, just wait and see what happens there. So at least we've got a couple of things setting up a little bit here. US dollar yen continues on this sort of upside movement at the moment. Higher lows coming through on this intermediate time frame. You can see it a lot clearer. Once again though, we've got a pivot underneath there. We've got a bit of a turn. Are we going to get a retrace back to that pivot and see with the reaction? That would be quite nice. It's already air kissed its daily pivot here, but it could be coming down again for it just to test it. Again, I'll watch both and see how they're doing. Aussie dollar, much messier on the lower time frames. Let's just go through the higher time frames. It's sort of found some support into the yearly S1 there, and it seems to be wanting to hold it a little bit for now at least. Looking at the 4 hourly picture again, any sort of rally or move into the weekly pivot We saw it beautifully last week coming off there. Didn't really compete into the S1, but it already hit the S1, so it's lower probability on the second time. It's the first one is the one. We'll see how this develops during the day. Yeah, not a lot else there. It's just a waiting game if that's going to roll over after hitting the pivot. US dollar CAD. Well, this seems to be heading up north. Keep continuing that way, consolidating around the highs at the moment. Again, weekly pivot set below might be enough to draw it down for now or soon. And same old really there. I'd be looking to, if it gets a nice bit of consolidation, it comes in nicely, nice confluence with the previous highs there. If we get a bit of support off that, then I'll be looking for the buy side. So certainly over the majors, something well worth watching. Euro yen had a good surge up on Friday. Let's come off from here. It just carried on going through on Friday. It turned out quite nice. It's rolling backwards a little bit off its 34 on the dailies at the moment. Just slowing down here. Again though, that weekly pivot might just come to its rescue, and if we see a bit of support off that, I'd be interested. Okay, but for now, nothing to do. I don't want to be selling. I mean, a lot of people say I'll sell here, but maybe the other alternative is to be looking to sell it on the break of its original trend here. But for now, I'm quite happy waiting patiently to see if it's got more upside. Right, okay, that's pretty much the major currencies there. I'll look through the rest in a short while in the trading room. Aside of that, then the usual suspects. Gold. Gold came back. It's doing another one. It's sort of setting up. I'd much rather it come back to its daily pivot before I started shorting it. And there's a weekly pivot again up there. But I was looking at it. These are the points where I'd be looking for potential shorts. Having said that, it's quite a clear path off of here, so maybe there's some potential later for a continuation there. Oil's choppy as anything at the moment. In the bigger picture here, you see the sort of a bit of range. Friday it managed to push up quite solidly. It has got these higher lows going through on the 4-hourly picture here, so the trend is basically to the upside. I'll probably look at this a little bit more this week. At the moment it's pulled back to its daily pivot. My preference is to trade Western Texas in its main session in the afternoons. There could be a call for a long if it gets back up here this morning and starts breaking on my system here about the 71 area. We'll see, but you got to watch out. Your oil's priced a little bit differently depending on your brokerage, but that is basically that little descending, let's say flaggy. It's not a very good flag, but I'm just sort of really looking to see if we get the bounce basically. Right, that's that. S&Ps are up slightly this morning, still hanging around up this upper side of things. Still got the potential for another push to the upside. That's it. What happened there? I got stalled there. That's it. It's got a bit ugly on the 4-hourly time frame here. Sort of like bit of a descending wedgy sort of pattern, but the main trend is to the upside. Bit ugly, but well, it's coming back off from its daily pivot. Not really liking it at the moment. The cash market might show differently this afternoon on that. FTSE remains in this ugly state, so I'll leave that alone. The DAX has been pushing up beautifully over the last couple of weeks, or week or so. bit of divergence possibly over top there. It doesn't mean short it just means it's just consolidating here, but it is consolidating on the upper side there, still moving okay. Just drifting to the upside there, not really a lot to do on that at the moment. I'm just looking whether there was a buy area. Maybe if it gets back above its daily pivot, it's a bit more of a buy zone. We'll see. This could well be affected by the PMI data out later. Right, okay, that's pretty much it for this morning. There are some things to be watching closely. As I said, it's the beginning of the week. Often when the markets come back to their weekly pivots, it's something we get some of the best moves from them. Whether it be, let's just switch back to the. I'm really liking the idea of that euro. It's gone back to the pound now, or the pound coming back to its weekly pivot. So there's plenty to be looking for here. Euro might be a bit of a different case because of its inverted head and shoulder pattern on the shorter time frame. That could be the potential long, but we've got data coming out already. We're seeing a bit of a sell back. Now if it breaks the shoulder here, that kills the pattern anyway. Yeah, the pound's quite way under. As I said, there's quite a few points here. They do tend to work quite nicely. Sometimes come a little bit short, but start reversing. Actually, the yen didn't go a lot further last week or the week before last, but we will see. Right, okay, I'll leave you there. Have a great day's trading, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye for now.